the circumstances without AD and everything, but were you disappointed in certain ways with the energy, or what did you see as the larger problem?
We talked about it, and I said it before games, after games, 9 game days, energy, effort, and urgency. And I thought, coming out of the gates, that kind of was non-existent. I didn't see a lot of that. I saw it on their part. Houston, young team, regardless of what their record is, they came to play, and we felt them. They made us feel them in terms of them attacking the paint, them getting hits, them getting offensive rebounds, giving themselves extra possessions, and we should have been the ones playing with that type of edge. But so goes the NBA. You have your ups and downs, but there is no excuses. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you. No matter who's in or out the lineup, we got to come to guys who are available and capable of playing. We got to come and put our best foot forward. And tonight, once we did catch up, they went on like a 9-0 run. Jabari hits 2 threes, and then Christopher hits a 3. So, but you put yourself behind the 8 ball if you don't come out the right way. We have to be the ones to come out and establish a physicality and a high competitive bar.
Not sure how much of that's just kind of defense versus offense, but execution-wise on offense, other than Austin and Dennis getting the line a lot, what did you see as the issues on offense?
When you struggle defensively and you're playing against a set defense, offense is going to struggle. You're not going to be able to be in a good rhythm. You saw against New Orleans last night, we were able to get stops and get runouts and get easy baskets, and the ball started moving around, exchanging hands. But that has everything to do with us being able to get stops and hold teams to one possession.
They had 78 points in the paint. Is that more of a product of AD not being there, or a product of you guys just not being tough enough?
It's a product of us not being good on the ball. That individual pride it takes to keep the ball in front and guys behind you knowing that the paint is the priority. This team lives in the paint. Houston Rockets live in the paint. And whether it's drives, whether it's, again, giving themselves second and third possessions on one particular play, through their offensive rebounding, they live and thrive in the paint. And we preach that to them before the game. And it's just, as a matter of fact, of putting your mind to it and locking in and wanting to be great on the ball. No one man has to get a stop, but you do have to be the initiator of getting that stop by being great on the ball.
Just more specifically into that start, I think Rockets were 8 for 11 to start the game. How much was trying to just figure out the defense with Rui and Jared and sort of somewhat unfamiliar positions for them, and then obviously starting the second half with Wenyen? What was the thought, and what did Wenyen give you tonight?
Wenyen did a fantastic job rebounding, his activity, his length, changing up some shots. Just, again, his activity defensively in the paint, his ability to secure defensive rebounds. We wanted to go with that and, give Rui a chance to come off the second half and try to make an impact, with the second unit. But again, you could throw all of that out, rotations, coverages, and sometimes it just comes down to individual performance and guys being locked in once again and understanding the circumstances of being ready to play. And the beautiful thing about, again, where we are is that with games still left to play, we won't have time to feel sorry for ourselves. We got to go back and fill our cups up tomorrow and get ready to take advantage of a 5-game homestand.
What do you see as a difference in the three-point shooting for your team between last night, when you have one of the better nights as a franchise, and tonight?
Defense. Again, you get stops, you create turnovers, you get deflections, you hold team to one possession. Missed shots leads to runouts. Runouts lead to open threes. That's the only difference that you saw between last night and tonight. We weren't able to get stops, and then when we did, they were able to collect offensive rebounds. Then we get another stop, and they collect another offensive rebound. So when you're taking the ball out every time, you're not going to get, your pace shots, so to speak. Like when you're getting stops and you're able to, guys are sprinting to the corner, guys slashing, you're penetrating the gaps, defense is being collapsed, then you get the kick out threes. You're playing against a set defense, all of that, it just makes everything that much more difficult.
Realistically, for the rest of the season, whether you're on the higher end or the lower end of the standings, Chase, you're going to be playing these stakes of games for the rest of the season. Are you concerned just with sort of how much pressure is on each individual game, how each loss hits? I mean, do you feel any added weight to the games as we get closer to the end of the season?
I mean, it's the NBA. If you're not cut out for this, you're in the wrong business. I love it personally. The child, would I rather have a sound and secure spot in the postseason? Yeah, who wouldn't? But our circumstances are what they are, and no way in hell am I going to feel sorry for myself and start looking over my shoulder and what coulda, shoulda, woulda been, or whatever the hell. No, we it is what it is. The circumstances are what they are. Our job is to attack them and attack them with attention to detail, with consistency, more consistency on both sides of the ball, and to make sure, again, we're trying to improve every day, whether it's a game day or non-game day, for the duration of the season.
What's the balance for you guys in being frustrated or loss at the same time, trying not to lose the momentum that you've been building since the trade deadline, especially? How do you guys handle that internally?
I mean, we're definitely this loss doesn't feel good to us, but we also understand we got a big homestand coming up, and we're in a position where we can get into the playoffs, where we can maybe secure the 6th seed, but just taking it one game at a time. There's no throwaway games, and this was never a throwaway game in our minds. So, we're gonna have AD back, and we didn't collectively do enough to win this game today.
So Darvin makes the adjustment at halftime to have you start the second half. Did he say anything specifically about in the team about why he wanted to make that move and what he was looking for from you?
No, he didn't. He didn't say anything about that. He just kind of mentioned at the end of halftime that I'm going to start the second half, and just told me to continue to rebound the ball.
Rebounding being one part of the focus. What did you think just defensively overall from the opening tip as a team that was maybe lacking some compared to last night?
I think we just allowed them to get into the paint too much, too easily. We need to show more resistance. I think the numbers will tell the story there with a lot of paint points, and we need to shift off of guys that are not high-volume shooters more often and help each other, and also just take more pride in containing the ball. And pretty much that. I think that was the story right there. It's finishing the paint.
You mentioned. Just one last one.
What do you think was going right when you guys were cutting it down to, I think, 5 at the closest? What was kind of flowing for you guys?
Oh, we was getting stops. When you get stops, you can get out in transition, and I feel like that's when we've been at our best during this last stretch that we've been in. We've been getting out in transition, and then the ball moves easier, when the defense is not set, and we find shots or find our shooters, and their gravity gives us layups as well. So, getting stops is really important, even to our offense.
Just what's the biggest area of focus for you guys as you think about these final few games that are coming up at the end of the month and then early April?
Coach has been saying the same 3 words for the last few months. So energy, effort, and urgency. And those are things where we need to continue to maintain a high level of play, but also continue with our IQ. We got to play smart, play the right way, and also understand that we're in a dire point in our season where we need to really lock in and take it one game at a time. We've been having a great collective effort. We have a lot of energy, a lot of good energy, and we need to continue to rally behind that. And even after a loss like this, we got to keep that same energy.
Night compared to last night about the early energy.
I think we just started off a little slow. We took them a little lightly, and the energy just wasn't there to start the game. I feel like it was second half, but we was just fighting uphill battle at that point. And it's just hard. We played our ass off in the second half, but trying to come back from that deficit, it was tough.
Do things overall since you got here and the other guys at the trade deadline have clearly been pretty positive? You've been winning games. You'll get AD back next time, but the games are starting to run out still. What is kind of that sense of urgency that you guys feel right now?
We just got to play every game like it's our last. We run out of time. I know we got, 12 games left. We have no more freebies, even though, we never had none to begin with, but we need all these games. We need to win as much as possible, especially, ones like tonight, against teams that aren't even fighting for playoff positions, and especially Western Conference teams. We need to win those games.
Obviously, it's easier to play well when it feels like the tide is turning like last night in the first half, but when you look at the urgency you guys had in the first half against the Pelicans versus the urgency tonight, do you see, obviously without AD, but do you see a big difference in how you approach the games?
I think tonight we started off, we didn't make shots, so it's easier to play better when shots are going in. I feel like the Pelicans, we started making shots early, so it turned our whole defense up, everything up. So we just need to have more of a defensive approach and not allow our shot making or lack thereof to decide how we play on defense. So Like I said, I think we need to have a defensive-minded approach to start the game. And, regardless of whether we're making shots or not.
Once you all cut it to 4, and midway through the 4th, they went on a 9-0 run. Do you remember anything about that sequence that you wish, as a team, you guys could have got back?
Honestly, we fought back to cut it down to 4. I think they kind of just, they killed us on the glass a little bit. Just getting some time in the offensive rebounding. And I think they hit a couple threes in that stretch too. That kind of hurt us. But overall, I think it was pretty much just the offensive rebounding that kind of killed us and what's in the paint. And then they made some shots as of late, but we got to do a better job of protecting the paint. And I think they had 74, 76 paint points. That's 78. I think that's just unacceptable. Especially a team like that, we got to protect the paint first and then, worry about shooters later.
I know you came in off the bench, but Darvin was talking about the lack of the overall energy to start the game and understanding that AD was out. What did you see on the court and how did you feel like that played out throughout the evening?
It's a back-to-back. There's no excuse. Everybody has those in the league. So you got to find something to energize you. It's hard sometimes, but at the end of the day, with where we're at in the standings and what we're trying to do, that should be enough itself. So we as players got to do better. Trying to figure out something for the group to get going. So slow start, a lot of mistakes, a lot of missed advantages on our defensive end, but at the same time they're trying to do stuff, and we're human, and we just got to fix it.
How are you feeling right now? It's a lot, but you hit the throat.
Yeah.
Was the other flavor foul, a technical foul? How are you feeling?
I feel good.
Honestly, how are you feeling?
I feel great. It's part of the game. It's physical contact, and everybody gets beat up a little bit, bruised up. So at the end of the day, I'm alive and I'm playing basketball, so I can't complain.
You all cut it to 4 in the 4th, and then they go on a 9-0 run. Thinking back to that sequence, can you identify anything that you guys did that allowed them to break it back open in that sequence?
I thought we did good, scrapping our way back, even though we were not playing good. You shoot 37 from the field, 25 from 3. You're most times not going to win that game. So they're a very talented young ball club that's been together for I think 2 years now. A lot of them have, and they're gelling well, and you could tell that they enjoy playing with each other. So they're like I said, they're super talented. So for them to go on a 9-0 run is kind of easy for them sometimes. So that's part of the game, and obviously we don't want that, and we could have did things differently to make it harder for them, but everybody's a pro.
Things have been going pretty well overall for the team. A couple setbacks here and there, but tonight, how do you take a game like this when the team didn't play well? And Darvin mentioned the energy wasn't great. How do you kind of understand that and then try to apply it as you go down this home stretch here?
It's exactly that. Just try to wash this one down the drain. Obviously, we didn't get off to the start we wanted. Didn't own into the game plan like we wanted to. Like I said, this team's not an easy team to beat. Got a lot of joy about them right now. The season's coming to an end. So, for us to come out and not do what we need to do and lose, it kind of hurts.
Obviously the numbers that AD brings you guys speak for themselves, but in terms of offense and when you guys are facing a half-court defense, where do you kind of feel like AD's absence puts pressure on other parts of the court?
I would ask you, what do you think? but I'm not going to do that. I mean, he's a player that demands so much attention, and it's a lot of gravity that goes his way, and when he's on the floor, obviously you get a lot of easier opportunities to capitalize on. And when he's not, you got to make up for it. And when you're facing a team that switches, no matter what team you're facing that switches, it makes the offense a little more stagnant. So there has to be more ball movement, more continuity, more quick hitters and second and third option, things like that. So like I said, we're a team that's figuring a lot of things out. So there's holes in our system right now that obviously we're trying to figure out, and we're not all out there. I mean, it's gonna make it hard.
Darwin thought that the offensive struggles were tied directly to defense not being able to create 2-on-1, 3-on-2 opportunities to get more freedom. Can you feel that out there? Like, was that? Did you feel like that was part of the reason the shooting percentages were where they were?
I mean, I'm not going to go against Coach. I mean, he obviously sees that as well, and I agree. But, when LeBron's playing, we're a different offensive team. When AD's playing, we're a different offensive team. I compare it to with Kobe when he used to he was on his way out, and he didn't practice a lot. And we had a practice group in there that practiced and ran the plays, and we did all that. But then when Kobe would play, everything we practiced on, kind of went down the drain. They had to adjust. So it's similar to that, no Bron, no AD. When that's what we kind of accustomed to, you got to adjust. And I think that's the first time I've seen that lineup with no AD, no Bron. So obviously it was the first time for me, and it was a little weird, but got to adjust.
Because one of the goals of May is to get to 500. And once you get there, what can that do for this group?
Say that again?
One of you guys' goals is to get to 500, because you keep getting close to it, but you're still 2 games below.
Yeah.
Is that one of the goals? And what can
I don't think that matters. I think one game at a time and try to win it, and then hope the teams ahead of us lose. Try to win the game, hope the team ahead of us lose, and go from there. I don't think 500 is the number you want, because 500 can still have you in whatever place in the standings. Obviously it could be good, but just last year, the year before that, 500 wasn't good enough. So now teams in the West being so stacked, 500 could be great, but I think it's just one game at a time. We got 12, 13 games left. I think every game matters. And just trying to get it one game at a time. I don't think there's a goal there, honestly.